2012, 2013, Billy Casper, Luther Ellis,
Gentleman Ron McBride,
2012 Hall of Fame inductee John Stockton.
Welcome to the 2015 Utah Sports Hall of Fame induction dinner. My name is Evan Exel. I'm honored to be the president of the Utah Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. This foundation is the premier organization in recognizing athletic achievement in our great state. Tonight, we honor perfection and the crowning glory for 5 absolutely deserving Utah athletes. Ambition, perseverance, sacrifice, dedication, proficiency, athletic achievement, and example will echo throughout these presentations tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2015 Utah Sports Hall of Fame inductee Kelly Downs. Carrying the flag of Utah State University is Ron Estes and Ron's daughter Mia in honor of our next 2015 Utah Sports Hall of Fame inductee, the late Wayne Estes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2015 Utah Sports Hall of Fame inductee Ed Eyestone. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2015 Utah Sports Hall of Fame inductee Scott Mitchell. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2015 Utah Sports Hall of Fame inductee Cale Sanderson.
This is a big, big honor. These athletes are being honored by their neighbors, their friends, their relatives, in their neighborhood, in their state, in the city in which they reside, with their classmates here and what have you. It never gets bigger than that. Our first candidate is Ed Eyestone. He became a 4-time NCAA champion in track and field and cross country for Brigham Young University and a 2-time Olympian. Ed completed his BY career as a 10-time All-American, an academic All-American, and an NCAA Top 6 award winner for an all-around achievement. Are we somebody here taking pictures?
I think so.
Did you get... Rosetta, did you hire a photographer? Or what? Are you going to waste this moment?
Here, we can do a selfie. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, Frank. Smile. Fin.
Hey, this guy's still pretty fast, huh? All right, Ed Eyestone, please.
Also, I wanted to thank my family because they have been along for the entire ride. I'm grateful for parents, now deceased, who raised the family, taught us the value of hard work, who let us know the importance of setting goals, not being afraid to try hard, not being afraid to fail, taught us some important values, and taught us that there was a Lord above looking down who was conscious of all the little birds out there and knows the importance of even one sparrow that falls. I'm grateful for wonderful parents, for siblings, and of course for my 6 beautiful daughters, all of them my favorites, and my wife who has had to hold the family together, as particularly the last 15 years as I've been coaching. As I've been raising other people's children, she's successfully raised a wonderful family.
Scott Mitchell. Scott was a product of Springville High, and Scott became a record-setting quarterback for the University of Utah. Later on, he went on to be a successful NFL career, primarily with the Detroit Lions. In 1995, he passed for over 4,000 yards and 32 touchdowns. He led the Lions to the playoffs in 95 and 97. Scott completed his 12-year pro career in stints with the Baltimore Ravens and also the Cincinnati Bengals. A wonderful long career in a very, very tough and physical and mentally tough league. In retirement, he returned to his native Utah and coached the Springville Red Devils. Scott was named Salt Lake Tribune's Coach of the Year in all classifications. All of you Scott Mitchell fans, let's hear it for Scott Mitchell.
I had about 1 million thoughts go through my mind in just a very brief period of time, and I said, I'm going to be a professional football player. Mr. Jensen looked at me, he said, look, nobody from Springville, Utah has ever played professional football. Why don't you pick something that you can really do? And again, I thought for a moment. I said, well, I'll say doctor or lawyer or something just to get out of here. And I said, no, I'm going to be a professional football player. And so that's what they wrote down in my 6th grade career orientation as my profession. 1990, I was drafted by the Miami Dolphins and became the first person from Springville, Utah to play professional football. So it was a very powerful moment in my life. Thank you.
I love baseball. Kelly Downs, I envy him because he had that time on the field of the big leagues in the World Series. I mean, I don't know if it gets any bigger than that in anything else you do. Ladies and gentlemen, the Major League World Series performer, Kelly Downs.
I had a big baseball hero that was on that Phillies team. And he's now in the Hall of Fame. His name's Steve Carlton. And they called him Lefty. So as years went by and I was a 12-year-old, and after the game I got to go down and meet Steve Carlton. And I'll never forget that as a young man. So growing up, as I was later drafted, I was drafted by the Philadelphia Phillies. And 3 years later after that, I had a couple good years and I got invited to Major League Spring Training. Well, lo and behold, I had another good year and they actually gave me a shot to make the team. And guess who one of my teammates would have been who was still playing? Steve Carlton. I met him as a 12-year-old, and as a 21-year-old, I actually got the opportunity to play with him, spring training. That was my dream. 1985, I was the last pitcher sent down from spring training, and I actually wanted to quit. I went home to the house where I was staying, and I was ready to walk away, and my wife got me, said, hey, give it one more year. And I did. I actually made it to the big leagues, so I love her to death. But
fans and teammates remember, it was 50 years ago, but he stands as somebody special. You know, when you go up to Cache County, you go on to see their basketball program, you go see their football field, you know, you think of Merlin Olsen and you think of Wayne Estes.
Beneath the snow-capped mountains around Anaconda, Montana, and throughout the Cache Valley in Utah, they know about basketball dreams. They know about Wayne Estes. His story of nylon cords on hardwood courts and tingling fingers is paradise lost. Each of his 2001 career points are promises in the air.
Whether he would have made it or made it big or any of those things, I don't think anyone knows. I think he would have had a definite chance.
Wayne Estes was a phenomenal basketball player, one of the top scorers in the nation, an All-American, and an NBA prospect. On a frigid night in February 1965, while complaining of an unexplained haunting numbness in his arms, he poured in 48 points against the University of Denver.
Not just breaking the record, but just to know that all the team is behind me. I know if it wasn't for them, I would have never got the shot they did get.
Later that night, Estes and some friends came across an accident where a car had struck a power pole. The group checked to see if anyone was injured. Estes, at 6 feet 6 inches, came into contact with the drooping power line. It struck his forehead. He died instantly.
It's just a tragic thing. I was coaching at Weber State at the time when he got killed, and I got a call at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't even know who called me. They called me to tell me that he had been killed.
People were stunned by his tragic death. Their hero, who wore number 33, the unstoppable hookshot, the likable kid, was gone. Now they could only clutch some keepsakes.
The night he was killed, it was a real shock to everyone in the community as well as on campus, and it just seemed like a natural thing to do my thesis project on, to do a series of paintings illustrating Wayne's life and this tragic event that ended his life.
Kids grow up in Anaconda learning about Wayne Estes, his love of sports, his work ethic, and his hookshot. A basketball tournament bearing his name is now in its 13th year in Anaconda.
Touching stories of his boyhood days, vivid narratives of his sensational play, and tearful reminders of the night he died. There are indeed many chronicles of the Estes saga, but tucked away in a glass trophy case is perhaps the most compelling picture of the dream that never quite came true.
Size 13 Chuck Taylor All-Star basketball shoes, sitting in an old trophy case, unlaced, hardly worn, and empty.
Basketball-wise, I don't think a guy like that should ever be forgotten because he was very special. A teammate of Phil Johnson's. It was just a great thing to remember.
Beneath the snow-covered mountains above Anaconda, Montana, and all across Utah's Cache Valley, they know about basketball dreams. They know about Wayne Estes.
I would like to, at this time, ask his brother Ron to step forward to receive his plaque, and also we'd be honored to have a few words from him.
I can't begin to tell you what an honor this is for me to be able to stand up here and accept this award on behalf of my brother Wayne. You know, it was many, many years ago. I can remember I was 8, 9, 10 years old being able to watch my brother play basketball. You know, people tell me he was pretty good. And I didn't know him as a basketball player. I knew him as my brother. And I'll tell you one thing. He was one of the greatest ball players to play the game, in my opinion. I guess it's easy for me to say that. But I can guarantee you he was a much better person and brother than he was a basketball player.
A product of Wasatch High School, he became a legendary collegiate wrestler, an Olympic champion, and a highly successful coach. He'll forever be remembered by compiling, get this, 159-0 record in 4 years as an Iowa State wrestler. Sports Illustrated named that overall #2 performance in history, an achievement in college sports. Let's bring Cale up here to receive his plaque and give us a few words.
It was a whole wave of just, you know, what a great time we had and great people that we had to work with on a consistent basis. I also want to thank my wife, Kelly. She's not here today. She's back in Pennsylvania. When I think back, I'm just, you know, very grateful. She was the perfect person for me. Even before we were married and I was competing, you know, she never gave me a hard time. She knew 2 days before matches that I wasn't going to see you, you know, and just never complained about it and she, you know, I remember talking about how distant I was during the season but never complained about it. And then there were times when she would tell me that I needed to just get tough and suck it up. And, you know, just a great balance. It was a perfect match for me. And
The state stone for Utah is topaz. So our rings are a yellow gold topaz stone in a pewter setting. There are approximately 75 in circulation.
It's the foundation's fondest hope that you five newest inductees will wear them often and with pride.
Ron and Kelly, Estes family, Ed, Scott, Cale. I challenge each of you to make this night a beginning, not an end. May you always have good health. May you continue to do good. May you forever be the example you've been in the past. May you recognize the many little eyes that behold your every move and commit to never disappoint them. You and the others in the hall are the beacons to their future. May that light so shine.